Creepercast, episode 27. You're listening to The Creepercast, a podcast about horror and the horror genre, with Jeff and Jason. I'm Jason.
And as always, I'm the other guy.
The other guy?
Jeff. Yeah, I'm Jeff.
You're Jeff.
We're actually doing a show together.
I know. Kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've been able to pull off the Walking Dead show together because I always call in from work, but yeah, we've been having a hard time getting together for these regular shows.
I know. It's well, with life getting in the way and stuff, but we should be getting back on track hopefully. So today we are talking about the Ryan Reynolds movie Buried. And by Ryan Reynolds, I mean he's the only person physically in the movie. Yes,
in fact, I wrote a review on this one because you had passed this one on to me before you even had a chance to see it, I guess. And yeah, if anybody who's interested in my review, you can find it at saviorsermons.blogspot.com. That's SAYVIORSSERMONS.blogspot.com. But I'll of course talk about some of what I said.
Right. It's also in the at the creepercast.com. You can find it by clicking reviews.
That is true. And this is one of those movies that came in like so far under the wire that nobody even really knew what was happening. Why don't you tell the story? Because it came to you first.
Well, this is one of them movies that I was at the theaters, and I don't remember what movie I was actually watching, but I saw the previews for this movie, and it seemed interesting, and being buried alive is one of my phobias. Years ago, when I was in college, one of the first film reviews that I ever wrote was on the French film Spurloose, which means The Vanishing. It's a 1989 film, and it's about people, should I say, that get buried alive. And like I said, that's my phobia, one of my biggest phobias. And I am also is it all right to have a man crush? Because I think I have a man crush on Ryan Reynolds to begin with.
I think it's perfectly all right in this, these days anyway.
But
I wouldn't say I have a man crush on him, but it's hard to find anybody out there who doesn't have some type of love for him.
Right. And he's such an amazing actor, such amazing when it comes to his films, and he's normally a comedic actor, and I love his dramatic films. I liked him in many different dramatic films that he's been in. Anyway, getting to what I wanted to talk about this film. So back in October, I was so excited when they were showing previews and they said it was going to come out at like the end of September or beginning of October, that I went and was combing our theaters around me. I live in the Pacific Northwest in Astoria, where the Goonies was made, and so was The Ring. I had to put a plug there. Anyway, so I started going to my local, the websites for my local theaters and trying to find this movie, and it did not come out. So, of course, what's the next best thing I did? I threw it on my Netflix queue. Long before the DVD was even slated to come out, and all of a sudden one day it was in the mail, and I had it, and made sure that I got Jeff onto it, and we both watched it. And Jeff said, "What did you say, that you hated me, or you were mad at?"
Actually, I think it started with a text, but I went so far as to post it on the Creepercast Facebook. So if anybody was willing to go back and look to see exactly what I said, I know when I texted you, the first thing I said was, "I hate you for sharing that movie." Right. That was my actual. That was exactly what I said in the text, and you followed it up with, "What, did you realize you're in love with Ryan Reynolds?"
Yeah.
But actually, that's not the. But that wasn't the reason why I said that. It's because this movie messes with your head.
It does.
I mean, in such a big way. I'm a claustrophobe too, so I approached it from that standpoint. But I'm going to be honest, when I walked into this movie, and I think I've said this before, at least I know I said it in my review. I walked into this movie going, Ryan Reynolds, all right, we got to talk a little bit more about Ryan Reynolds, because there's a reason why people love him. He was a fantastic comedic actor. He come right off the stage into comedy films. Everybody remembers Van Wilder. Everybody remembers Waiting. I mean, he was he just had this charisma and built these characters that are impossible to forget.
Right.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, as much as I hated the Amityville Horror remake, I thought that was the
he was phenomenal.
That was his breakthrough role as far as a serious actor was concerned. So I thought that was amazing. And then I even loved him in Blade Trinity. I'm going to give
that was the movie I was trying to think of earlier. I thought he, in my opinion, is what made Blade Trinity. Had it not been for him, Blade Trinity would have been a nothing movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I walked into this movie, when I sat down to watch this movie, Buried, the one we're talking about now, I was like, well, this was so under the wire. It's like nobody ever heard of it. I hadn't heard of it until you mentioned it to me. And then when I found out Ryan Reynolds was in it, and basically the premise of the movie is, I'll give a real quick of what my synopsis is. Ryan Reynolds is buried alive in a wooden box in order to bring us an hour-and-a-half one-man show. I walked into this going, there's no way. There's just no way he's going to keep my attention for an hour and a half. Not even the god Ryan Reynolds is going to be able to do this. 10 minutes into the movie, I was like, yep, this is going to be ridiculous. 20 minutes into the movie, I was like, well, okay, I'll keep watching just so I can say I did. And then 45 minutes went by, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I was so brought into this movie.
What's amazing about this movie is the whole thing takes place in like a 3-foot by 11-foot box. But all of the stuff that happens, all of the emotions he brings out, all of the fears, it's like one thing after another just keeps piling on top of him, even to the point that he gets fired from his job somehow while being buried alive in this box.
Oh, absolutely. You've got a trailer. You should play it.
Yeah. Here's the trailer for Buried.
Buried in a coffin in the ground. You have to help me. I can't breathe.
How did you end up in the coffin, sir?
My convoy was ambushed. I got hit in the head. I blacked out, and that's the last thing I remember. I'm being held for ransom. I need $5 million, or I'll be left to die here.
Okay, Mr. Conroy.
Wait, hold on. Wait. I need to know my name. What's going on right now?
Where is money?
I need more time. I'm begging you. Let me out of here, and I promise you I will get you the money. No.